Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate agent Donna Goldman of Alain Pinel Realtors based out of Ross, California. Donna has been in real estate since 2004. She has been in the top 1% of realtors in Marin County nearly every year since she got into the business. She is currently ranked number 7 in Marin County, about 3,000 or so agents, and that's without about $10 million of off-markets that she has done this year, and the rankings change with each closing. Her accomplishments include having the title of Certified Relocation Specialist, being the number 1 realtor in Marin for Alain Pinel Realtors since 2009, consistent top 1% ranking in the county, and the fact that many of her clients' homes have been featured in Marin Magazine Extraordinary Living, the San Francisco Chronicle, San Francisco Curbed, as well as the Luxury Portfolio. In building her real estate practice, she has paved an alternative path. She is a matchmaker at heart, a facilitator, not a salesperson. To her, finding the perfect match is what real estate is all about, and she particularly enjoys applying her creativity and technical savvy to successfully resolving situations that most would find challenging. She relishes being a secret agent, orchestrating off-market transactions that only an experienced agent with deep historical market knowledge and a sixth sense for matching people and homes could accomplish. One such quiet transaction was her sale of a landmark vintage estate to first-time homebuyers. All right, with all that said, Donna, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Keith. This is going to be fun.
And Donna, if we could start for our listeners, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
I sort of stumbled into it. Before real estate, I was in the film business, which had me traveling all over the place. And with 3 young children, it was really hard. I'd bring a baby and a nanny, and the work sort of never ended. And where I lived, everybody talked about real estate. It was the topic at dinner. Waiting in line to sign your kids up for camp. It just never stopped. And so I thought, wow, I love architecture, and it would be and I love seeing the potential in things. And it would be fun to get to be, work within a 5 square mile radius of where I live instead of 1,000. So that's how I got into the business.
Excellent. And can you talk a little bit about what personal attributes, traits, or qualities you think have most contributed to the success that you've had in real estate?
I've often meant to ask my clients why they work with me, but what I think is that I just really truly care about my clients. I have integrity. I'm very resourceful, and I always follow through. And I also am able to juggle, it seems like 1,000 things simultaneously. And I also truly treat people the way I would want to be treated in every situation, to go that extra mile and to get it done properly.
Excellent. And do you think you could give our listeners an example of when these traits have played a role in your path towards success?
Well, I do a lot of off-market sales, and I will often drive people around the area to sort of give them, the tour of my favorite neighborhoods based on what they're looking for. And even recently, a client was in the car with me, and I drove them past a house, and they said, "I want that house." And I said, "Really, you want that house?" I said, "Well, it's not on the market." I said, "But I'll get it for you." And after 6 months of trying, I did, and they just moved in. So you go for what they want, and you get it done.
And Donna, I think, with all success, the road and the path to get there is not always a smooth and an easy trip. A lot of times there's trials and adversities along the way. So can you talk a little bit about some of the adversities or trials that you had to overcome in order to achieve your goals?
Well, foolishly, I don't really have goals. I sort of just go along with what's needed in a given time, and I've sort of enjoyed that. I don't have a typical business plan like I think a lot of agents do, and I'm often sort of in awe of how much I do without that. I guess I wonder what it would be like if I did. But I could tell you that when I first got into the business, I cried nearly every day. And I am such a collaborative and open and straightforward person, and was shocked to see the amount of games in real estate. But I'm really happy to say that I learned to do it well my way. And as such, I go to sleep at night keeping my honor intact. And I've been successful for my family and my clients and their families.
And Donna, as these obstacles come, as they come up, what kept you going? Why don't you give up what you're driving for us?
Because I always follow through on a promise I make to somebody. And I just wouldn't do anything other than get the job done.
Excellent. And I guess kind of looking forward, and I obviously know you don't, you just said you're not big on goals and planning, but, where do you see things going in, say, the next 3 to 5 years? Do you have a vision or kind of an idea of where you might take your business and your career?
Well, now that those once babies of mine are pretty much grown up, I would love to be working more nationally and internationally, sort of work with clients that want me to be their representative or advocate in selecting properties in different markets, either for their portfolio or second, third, or fourth, or fifth homes, and I'd like to be their person to make that happen.
And I guess kind of on top of that, what do you feel is the best way that you market yourself as a real estate professional so that you can have continual growth?
I should actually be looking to you for advice. I'm just really lucky, Keith. I seem to always have enough going on that, in truth, I really can't handle more, and it still enables me to be one of the top producers in the area. So, I think I get a lot of word-of-mouth referrals. I happen to work in a very, very desirable market where everybody kind of wants to be, and they see my name because I do so much work in the area. So I do need to start thinking about what I'm going to do that next vision that will take me, around the country and the world. And I think that it just continues to be talking to my clients, reaching out, and sort of just putting it out to the world that that's what I want to do. And I have no doubt that it will happen.
And Donna, I think sometimes the marketplace or people in general have misconceptions or myths when they look at agents. I don't think sometimes they really understand everything that you do for them and really all the value that you bring to the table. So what do you think the biggest misconception or myth that people have about working with a real estate agent?
That it's easy, that we don't really do anything. And it used to be that without the Internet, agents would introduce, buyers to properties or sellers to buyers. But there is so much complication in what we do for a living. I come home at the end of the day and I think, I cannot believe what I've done today. And it could be 50 things that have nothing seemingly to do with the transaction, but it never ends. The phone calls never end. The negotiations never end, even after a client's in a home or after out of a home. It is not as simple as, what you see on $1 Million Homes or whatever those shows are in New York and L.A. You don't stand on a table and say buy, sell. It's massaging and education, and I do everything I can to have my clients make the best possible informed decision they can.
You mean you don't close deals in 30 minutes and make all that money?
I think I might have done that once, and that took for every other situation that ever happened. It doesn't take, that short amount of time. But no, it's a very complicated business, and the rules and the laws keep changing. And it's full of risks and liabilities, and for not only, myself, but my clients. And I do everything in my power to keep everybody, safe and healthy and avoid any legal matters. And it's like in California particularly, like every paragraph in a contract is as a result of a lawsuit.
Excellent. And Donna, let's say you get a call from a family member or a friend, and they're in another state and they want to sell their home. Now, obviously, with your experience and your connections, you could probably look up an agent or do a referral or anything like that. But from a general advice standpoint, what advice would you give them about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs? Kind of how do you make sure you take care of your clients? What would you tell them to look for?
Well, I think it's really important to work with someone that truly knows the area, which is kind of a funny thing for me to say, given that I want to work nationally and internationally. You can't really know everything perfectly, but it does take being able to be resourceful to know the area. But I think that's really important. But also someone who has integrity, who is going to take the time to educate and do the homework and to bring, say, that seller the best possible offer or that buyer options and help really to understand, where the sun comes up. Is the house going to be dark most of the day? What happens different times of the year? Is there noise? Where are the schools? And, all of the things that really go into how one lives, not just a house, but how one lives outside of the home. And I think that's really important to be able to rely on somebody who can help you with things you may not know about an area.
Excellent. Well, Donna, obviously being based out of Ross, California, Marin County, if somebody's looking for real estate services or an agent in that general area, what's the best way they can find out more information about you and how you can help them?
Well, call me. Let's talk. Let's see what you need and want in an agent, and we'll see if we're a good match. I'd love the opportunity.
Excellent. Well, Donna, I obviously want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here today and share all your professional real estate experience with all of our listeners. And if you're listening and you want to learn more about Donna, below this interview, we'll actually have a link to her website, her phone number, and any other contact information we have so that you can learn more about Donna and see how she can help you with your needs. With that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.